Hello everyone, let's improve our LeetCode today. I'm going to show you how we can use flashcards and spaced repetition to understand and solve the LeetCode problems. There is no trick here. We are not going to memorize the solutions, but understand the patterns behind them. Let me quickly show you the format, how it would look like. But before that, let me show you the problem I solved today. So, non-overlapping intervals, and this was my solution that I came up on my own, right? This is very important that you solve the problem yourself first. Next, creating a flashcard. So I have a setup in Obsidian where I create the flashcards. If you want to learn more about how to do that, I have a video on that. You can watch that and come back here. So this is how I create a flashcard. And before I explain this, let me show this to you in action. So I'm here, I'm seeing one new card. I'm gonna go into intervals directly and click on it. Now you can see the problem. So there are three things on the front of the flashcard, which is the question thing. First is the problem title, and it also has a link, but the title is important for us. Second, a short description of the problem. And third, an example to give an idea of how this problem and solution works. Trust me, we need these three things because as you do it for months, just based on your problem title, you won't remember the solution. You need to understand like what the problem actually is, and you need to know an example how it will work. So it's very important that we have these two things on the front of the flashcard. Now let me show you the answer. So answer has four key things. First is pattern. You need to write what pattern is used to solve this problem. I use greedy and sorting, and that's why I wrote this. This should be a very short description of what kind of pattern you used for this particular problem. So that's it for pattern. The most important part of this answer, this backside of flashcard, should be the key insight. This is what makes your solution stick longer. So the key insight is when solving something clicked, right? And only based on that you were able to solve this problem. So that's the key insight. So for me, what clicked was when I see the overlap, always keep the interval with smaller end time. If there are two intervals and there is an overlap, as we want to find the number of intervals to remove, we want to keep the smallest interval so that the overlap between it and next coming should be less. So that's the key insight. And I have done this for many flashcards now. I review them daily, and I know as soon as I get the key insight, I know the pattern, I can write the code, and I will understand the time and space complexity. So again, key insight is the most important part here. Next comes the code. The code here is not important. Let me repeat, it's not important to remember the code. It's here so that you have a visual cue to how the code looks like how many lines of code it would be, how the code is formatted. Trust me, based on just key insight, you can write the code almost similar every time. So don't worry about the code, but keep it here so that you have an idea if you forget something or after going through key insight you missed, for example, this sort is required which is not mentioned here. So it's good to have it here but not necessary. And last is time and space complexity. So this again you can derive from the code that this is sorting happening, so n log n, and then only once we are iterating over this, so O of n, that comes to O n log n time complexity, right? But it's here so that you have a quick understanding. Okay, this is n log n, that's it. You can always derive the time and space complexity in your interview from the code. Also, I keep it here because sometimes my solutions are not optimized, but they would work in the interview. So for example, if I had a space complexity of O of n, I would write here that this can be optimized using this. Okay, so that's why it is here. Yeah, so that's the best kind of flashcard you can create, in my opinion. Also, spaced repetition and active recall is a science-backed uh, method to remember things for a longer time. And that's why I think as soon as you solve a problem, instead of just taking a random note, it's better to create a flashcard and then you can review it later. I can create a future video on how I review these flashcards, but for now I think this is it. Let me know in comments if you find something that is better than this, and if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you.